Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on The Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news. Greg, guess what day it is?
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. It's like a dream.
It's like a dream.
It's a taco
the person
dream.
cooking, unless the person cooking them can't cook, then it may turn into a nightmare.
The Taco Nightmare. It's a nightmare on Taco Elm Street.
On Taco Elm Street usually takes place in a porcelain sacrificial bowl.
Oh, yeah. Nobody got time for that. Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
okay, good. So how was your Tuesday? How was your Monday night? How's everything going for you?
Monday night was fine. Watched some good football games. Got some work done around the house I needed to get done before my wife gets back in town. Just, man, an overall good day, man. Overall good day, and today is going equally as well.
Well, did you watch the Big Papa's House yesterday? Did you watch that? Did you watch it?
Did not watch Big Papa's House.
First episode, pretty good. I like it. Damon Senior, Damon Junior, went pretty well.
All right, well, definitely going to have to
Very nice.
tune in to check that one out. Lots of good stuff. This is the problem is around this time of year is when a bunch of stuff starts to come out, and there's tons of stuff to watch. And the great thing now is that they save it so you can always go back and watch it all later.
Do you remember how we used to be able to control when we save things, right? You put the VCR up, you record your stuff, right? And then they came out with we got rid of VCRs, and all we had was DVDs, but you couldn't record on a DVD. But they gave us the DVRs. Remember the DVR?
Right. Yes.
I could record hundreds of hours on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now what do you have to do if you want to watch something?
Well, you have to put it in your favorites, and then what will happen is when it comes up, they save it for you. Now, you can still have, depending on the service you have, you can still DVR it.
We ain't got no DVR over here on the East Coast. They outlawed it. Oh. It's gone.
Did they?
Took it away from us. Now, if I want to watch it, I got to go to their streaming service, watch their commercials, pay their fees. We went from freedom to record whatever we wanted to now I got to play their games.
Well, I have Hulu. You know, Hulu has live sports, but we use Hulu Live TV, and we can DVR stuff, and that makes it a lot easier to be able to watch it. Go back and watch it later.
Right.
But we also, admittedly,
but that's not on your. Mm-hmm. That's not on your device. Hulu saves like a cloud drive for you. And if you lose internet, you're done. You're done. You just got to sit there staring at the empty Hulu box.
Well, now what you can do is, depending on the device you're using, you can't do it on a TV, but like on my iPad or on my phone, I can actually download it to that device. So if I'm not connected to the internet, and I know that because whenever I fly, I do, whether I'm using Netflix or Hulu or one of those others, I download it. And then I can watch on the plane.
Right. Still more work than it used to be.
Yes, definitely more work than it used to be. But I also like the fact that now I can go back and I can watch shows like, you remember back in the day, and folks, y'all youngsters may not know anything about this. Like first of all, there were 22 to 26 episodes of a show, right? And if you missed one, you had to wait because they would play one. They would play one. They play it all the way through, and then they'd play it through again, right? On the rerun.
Over the summer,
and you had to wait. Yeah, in the summertime. You had to wait for it to come back if you wanted to watch that episode.
That was it. You were screwed, baby. Screwed. Yep. Yep.
Binge watching TV was like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch TV from 8, whatever they got on there, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. That was binging for us. Cartoons.
Exactly right.
Saturday morning cartoons was a thing. If you didn't watch it Saturday morning, you didn't get to watch cartoons.
Nope, not at all. Not until The Simpsons. Nope.
I'm sorry. At what point am I supposed to say "get off my lawn"?
Get off my lawn, you kids today, with your loud hair and rock and roll music.
Oh, did I? By the way, did I tell you that I finally used for the first time? I finally got a senior discount.
Well, you finally asked for it? Because I got a feeling they've been giving them to you for a while.
I finally got it. I asked why. I did ask for it. This particular store that I go to, 55 and over, on Tuesdays, 10% discount. And I remember leading up to my 55th birthday, I was always like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. And I never did. And then finally I was like, oh, wow. Hey, today's the day.
Is it a taco
Senior
place?
discount day. Huh?
Is it a taco place?
No, it's not a taco place.
Because that would just make the story better.
It would make the story better. But on a Tuesday, it's like, well, you already get Taco Tuesday discounts.
Yeah, well, now you get a senior taco discount, you know?
Well, if they did both, if they double stacked it like that, that would be cool.
Double stack it. That's it. Get the Taco Tuesday double stacker.
Taco Tuesday double stacker. Yes. Now, if that doesn't sound American, I mean, if that doesn't sound like America and apple pie, I don't know what does.
It sounds like a special over at the Mexican phone company, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. On that note, let's get going. Since we already gave them a free commercial, let's actually give an actual commercial and a shout out to our actual sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get yourself AR rifle barrels and pistol barrels, any length, any caliber you desire for your next AR rifle builds. That's hitmanindustry.net. California Public Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's hogholsters.com, HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. It's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best field gear, web gear, tactical gear on the market, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit their website. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and then tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also, want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please make sure like, share, subscribe. However you partake. There are tons of other ways to partake. Maybe you watch us on YouTube, but did you know we're available wherever you get your podcasts? Maybe you watch us on Rumble, but did you know that you can also follow us in the Twitter sphere? Look, folks, however you partake, find multiple ways, because everyone's always trying to censor us, always trying to keep us down. You know, we already lost a YouTube channel. So however you do this, go ahead and find yourself a backup way so that you always know how to find us, and a way to encourage your friends to partake as well.
Man's always trying to keep us down.
Always trying to keep brothers down. Anyway, on that note, we're going to go ahead and get into the story, get into today's news. And the first one is really, it was spurred on by one story, but then I realized all of these various different crazy things that were going on. And that's why I entitled this, Needing Permission to Vote for Kamala. You know, for some reason, the Democratic Party thinks that the only reason why certain groups are not voting for Kamala is because, well, there's something wrong with them, right? You already had the first group out there was white dudes for Harris, right? Or as I like to call them, cucks for Kamala. These are the most beta type males who are like, well, if you don't vote for her, then you just don't like women. You just have trouble voting for a woman, right? Then you have Barack Obama going around and going after black men, telling them you need to vote for Kamala Harris because she's black. And now you've got Liz Cheney going around to Republican women. That's right, going around to women, specifically Republican women, once again giving them permission to vote for Kamala Harris. That's right. This is being reported by CNN. Now, I'll tell you, this reporting is all over the place. I'm just using this as the example here. It says here, Republican women can vote for Kamala Harris because I guess they couldn't before Liz Cheney said it was okay. It says, and they don't need to tell anyone about it, meaning they need to lie to their husbands. It was the most striking takeaway from Liz Cheney's Blue Wall swing state tour with the vice president on Monday as the hardline conservative, she's a hardline conservative, and former congresswoman created a permission structure of personal empowerment for suburban Republican and independent women to snub Donald Trump and back the Democratic nominee. The mother of five, who was staunchly anti-abortion as a lawmaker and who cheered the demise of Roe v. Wade, also warned women aren't getting needed reproductive health care after the Supreme Court's momentous 2022 decision, and said that only Harris had the compassion to deal with the issue. Cheney repeatedly made clear she still opposes abortion, but explained in Waukesha County, a swing district just outside of Milwaukee, that, quote, I have been very troubled, deeply troubled by what I have watched happen in so many states, she added. I have been troubled by the extent to which you have women who, as vice president said, in some cases have died, who can't get medical treatment that they need because providers are worried about criminal liability. Now, Mike, we've already talked about some of this, but first of all, let's be clear. This is based on the premise of this, and the premise of her comment is this. Polls show that Republican women actually vote in very large numbers Republican. And for some reason, Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris and the Democrats seem to think that they have to get their husband's permission. Sorry, they only vote the way their husbands allow them to vote. Because, we Republican men, we subjugate our women according to Democrats. We don't let them vote according to their mind. We keep them as slaves in the kitchen, bearing our children. That's how they think we treat our women. Now, in order to emphasize that, Mike, they lie. They lie. Because think about this, Mike. They said that, well, abortion is only a small part of our business. It's only a small part of what we do at Planned Parenthood. Well, then, if it's only a small part of what you do, why can't you afford to pay for health care, for women's health care? If it's a small part of what you do, if it doesn't fund the rest of your operation, you don't need that to be able to provide health care to women. Now, the instances that she brought up were the instances where women who basically were in a state that had restrictions on very strict restrictions on abortion, not a ban, but restrictions. They went and they got the pill, the pill that's supposed to be safe and you can use it without a doctor even being there. Yeah, they took the pill and they died because one of them didn't get medical assistance and the other one went to the hospital, and the hospital bought into all of the lies told by the abortion industry, told by the media and the Democrats, that, well, if you get an abortion, you're going to go to jail. And so they didn't give her medical help. Now, last I checked, none of that had anything to do with the abortion law. Anyway, I just find this all, I mean, you see how little they think of Republican women and Republicans in general or anybody who doesn't support Kamala Harris.
I'm curious, did Liz Cheney's husband give her permission to do this activity? Oh wait, she's an LGBT. I wonder if does she mean that LGBT women have to get permission from their spouse as well, or is it just from husbands? I don't. Or she doesn't have to get it. She can not tell her husband because she thinks the husbands are the ones that dictate or is it in the I don't know, Craig. It sounds like she suffers from massive TDS, as much as the other ones do, and now she's making up, like you said, these lies that Republican women sit at home, dressed like it's the 1950s, and then they're just cooking and cleaning all day, waiting for their man to get home. I don't know where would she get that image. I have no idea, but that's the lies they continue to put out. The lies they continue to put out here, Craig, with 13 days left to go.
Okay, just one clarification. Liz Cheney, as butch as she may appear at times, is not the lesbian Cheney daughter. There is a lesbian Cheney daughter, but I don't think she's the one.
There's more than one of them?
Yes. I get it. They all look alike.
White women.
White women from Wisconsin
women,
all look alike. Is that what you're saying, Mike?
Just white women. Just so basic.
But it's funny because they're saying, it's hilarious because she is changing her positions on a bunch of different things just once again so that she can be anti-Trump. And let's be honest, folks, here's what it is. We don't really know where Liz Cheney stands on issues. What we know is she's anti-Trump. And that's really about all we know about where Liz Cheney stands on issues. We know that if you call yourself a Republican, I can see you being a Republican and not liking or not being willing to support Trump to a degree. What I don't understand is how you support Kamala Harris, knowing the policies that she is going to put in place, knowing the things that she is going to do if she were to become president of the United States. I don't get how you rationalize that as someone who claims to have the values consistent with the Republican Party.
Well, she is she's a liar. I mean, so let's stop the lying part. Let's say, okay, Mike, stop calling her a liar. She changes her mind all the time, right? Maybe she's not a liar, Craig. Maybe she just changes her mind. Maybe somebody comes up and tells her something. She goes, well, that's a good idea. Let's go with that. And then just happens to flip, flop, making John Kerry look like the most honest man alive. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's just a woman that has the prerogative to change her mind a lot.
I don't know if it's that she thinks it's a good idea. It's like, will that make me okay with you? Will you love me? Will you support me? Will you be there? Will you?
As I stand here in front of you, what can I tell you to make me vote for me? Make you vote for me. Oh, that's what I'm telling you then.
Okay, there you go. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But the problem is that she's not even sharp enough to be able to word how she's supposed to be, what her new stance is on the fly. It's got to be on the teleprompter. It's like, okay, are the folks on the teleprompter, are you guys listening to this? I need to get it here. I need to get it right here on the teleprompter so that I know what to say.
Yep. She's as sharp as a bowling ball, like we used to say.
As sharp as a bowling ball. She's definitely not the sharpest knife in the drawer. That is for sure.
No, definitely not.
Oh, and by the way, just so you know, an example of one of the things that she wants to do, let's talk about the Harris plan to diversify American towns. This was one, once again, over at Breitbart. This is one that I find to be incredibly worrisome, but not surprising. And I said not surprising because this just totally falls within her wheelhouse. They're reporting Kamala Harris plan imports more diversity migrants to American towns. A plan championed by Vice President Kamala Harris on the presidential campaign trail would import more migrants to American cities and towns through the diversity visa lottery, an immigration program infamous for bringing convicted Islamic State or ISIS terrorists to the United States. Last week, in an exclusive sit-down interview on Fox News Channel's special report, Harris praised U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. As Breitbart News reported, that legislation includes a broad amnesty for most of the nation's 11 to 12 million illegal aliens and would ensure they are fast-tracked into naturalized American citizenship. Another key component of the legislation, though, is an expansion of the wildly unpopular diversity visa lottery. In 2018, About 3 in 5 likely voters said they wanted to see the diversity visa lottery ended. Created by the Immigration Act of 1990, first introduced by then Senator Ted Kennedy, and signed into law by then President George H.W. Bush, the diversity visa lottery randomly gives out 55,000 visas every year to foreign nationals from a multitude of countries, including those facing widespread those facing widespread terrorism, such as Afghanistan, Algeria, Egypt, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Syria, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, Yemen, and Uzbekistan. The Harris-backed Citizenship Act of 2021 would increase the number of diversity visas rewarded annually through the random lottery system by about 25,000 visas. Such a huge increase would ensure that nearly a million legal immigrants arrive in the United States every decade for no other reason than adding, quote, so-called diversity to the American communities. Now, Mike, I'm not anti-diversity, but I believe that you should be bringing people into the United States that add, right? They bring something to the table, and diversity is not enough. I yield the floor.
Craig, maybe it's just the way you said it. I don't think we should be bringing anyone into the United States that's not trying to get here on their own. We shouldn't be out recruiting. We shouldn't be busing them. We shouldn't be flying them. We shouldn't be going to their countries trying to find people to diversify our own country. If they want to come to this country, there's a way to do it. They can do the paperwork. They can wait in line. They can go to a border port of entry, and then they'd be welcome into this country. I don't see any reason at all why we have to go outside and start looking for the right people to diversify to send to. By the way, you know they're not going to Democrat cities, Craig. They're sending them to the Republican towns as punishment if they win the election.
Well, it's more than punishment, Mike. They're doing it so that they can change the voter demographics in those communities.
Right.
And that's literally what it is.
Take their voting rights away from them. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to make it so that they're trying to diversify They're trying to basically make Republican areas more Democrat is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, because change the demographics so that they lose control of their city. Yeah.
Yeah. You're starting to see there's becoming a great divide in this country, and that places that tend to be red are getting redder, and places that are blue are tending to get bluer. But the funny part is you don't see many people moving out of conservative or Republican controlled areas as they are in large numbers, as many as you see Democrats moving out of Democrat controlled areas. Because in many cases they're moving out not because they necessarily know about or care about the policies. They've just gotten to a point where they can't afford to live the American dream there anymore. So they're going someplace where they can afford it. And that just happens to be in a Republican area.
Very true.
Funny how that works.
True enough.
Elections have consequences, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, they do.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
All right. In this next story, now we know that Kamala Harris is not very good with her own words, but apparently she's become pretty familiar with the words of others. We are familiar with the number of instances where she plagiarized in her book called Smart on Crime. She plagiarized from Wikipedia, from Associated Press, and from other websites and sources. Well, now there's more information about Harris's plagiarism, and it appears that it even includes plagiarizing from Republicans. And this is being reported by the Washington Free Beacon. It says here, Kamala Harris plagiarized pages of congressional testimony from Republican colleague, plus a fictional story about human trafficking. On April 24, 2007, Kamala Harris testified before Congress in support of the John R. Justice Prosecutors and Defenders Initiative of 2007. The bill, which was introduced that year but never passed the upper chamber, would have created a student loan repayment program for state and local prosecutors, and Harris, then the district attorney of San Francisco, argued it would draw top legal talent to an office like hers. In a written statement to the House Judiciary Committee, she described how debt-addled prosecutors often decamp to the private sector a few years into the job, lured by the prospect of higher pay that would be used to pay off law school debt. That dynamic had left many district attorneys' offices short-staffed, she said, forcing them to put rookie attorneys on complex cases. Quote, there are numerous criminal cases that are particularly difficult because of the dynamics involved, Harris wrote. To name just a few, child abuse, elder neglect, domestic violence, identity theft, and public corruption. The stakes are simply too high to allow any attorney other than experienced prosecutors to handle these. By repaying the loans, the prosecutor, the statement was simple and pragmatic, but Harris wasn't the first one to make it. Virtually her entire testimony about the bill was taken from another district attorney, Paul Logley of Winnebago County, Illinois, who had testified in support of the legislation 2 months earlier before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Both statements cite the same surveys, use the same language, and make the same points in the same order with a paragraph added here or there. I think this serves as 100% evidence that this is a woman who has no original ideas, who is incapable of thinking on her own. And if it weren't for the ideas that she steals from other people, would not have an authentic thought in her own head.
Agreed, Craig. Where do we come up with the idea that we need more lawyers? That more lawyers is the answer. Looking at the number of lawyers per capita in California right now is for every 10,000 residents, there's 42 lawyers. There's 163,000 active lawyers. And this is 10 years ago, by the way. These numbers are 10 years old. So California is right there at the top of people with the most amount of lawyers. If she thinks that the reason people leave the prosecutor's office is to go to work in the private sector to that's right, she's lying to you, because their whole goal is to go out there and make that money. If they wanted to stay there and continue to be on the side of law enforcement, they could do so. And most of those organizations, most of those government organizations have loan repayment programs, payback programs where they assist you in paying them back. So now it's fair. It's not quite as at the rate of if you go out and get $1 million job, but however, it is there. If you're dedicated to public service, then being lured away by the high paying job shouldn't be of any impact to you.
Well, it's funny that she's the one making this statement, because keep in mind, not only did she have her job paying a boatload of money, but she also had an appointment that was paying her about $100,000 a year for just showing up to, a meeting here or there. That her boyfriend that just was a job that her boyfriend Willie Brown got her, on top of buying her a brand new BMW. But she wasn't hurting for money when she was a prosecutor. Of course, I guess. That only really works if you're going to expect prosecutors or city attorneys to sleep their way to the top in order to be able to cover their bills.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely right. Newer numbers, 2023, 171,000 lawyers as of 2023 in California. Only state with more, New York. Yeah.
Well, this was once again. Now, this was a testimony in 2007, but I guess my point behind the whole thing is, you couldn't even bother to write your own testimony.
Yeah. Right.
Well, by the way, for those of you who do not remember, it was a story like this that actually caused Joe Biden to have to drop out of a presidential race, because he too was a serial plagiarizer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. It's what she does. Which
Yeah,
is
copy,
oh, I'm sorry.
copy.
What's another word for plagiarizing? Another word for
Steal.
plagiarizing. Lying.
Lying.
That's it. Lying.
Well, it's come on because it's both lying and stealing because it didn't belong to you.
Oh, that's by the way, a great Beastie Boys song. Lying and stealing it. Oh, that's rhyming and stealing. Never mind. Sorry.
Never mind. Never mind. All right. So a lot was made out of the challenges that they faced there in Florida due to Helene and due to Milton. And the interesting thing is that California evidently must have suffered its own hurricane because California cut off power to 12 counties. Now, oh wait, no, it wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't a tornado. Oh wait, it was a windy day. That's right, California.
Everyone knows it's windy.
California has more customers without power 1 week after Florida's Hurricane Milton cut power to 4 million people. It says here over the weekend, California utility company Pacific Gas and Electric shut off power to 12 counties as a countermeasure to wind spikes and fears of wildfires. This is a rather new normal in California. As a narrative of California, this never happened. The only time power went out was due to powerful winter storms knocking down power lines. Now it's a regular occurrence. Not the lines going down, but the power being deliberately shut off. A few years ago, we called these rolling blackouts when the utility companies didn't have the available power during summer heat to keep everyone's air conditioning on, and people died. It's an actual thing. PG&E calls them rotating outages, and they tell us, quote, outages are preventable if we conserve. Heat waves may strain the grid to reduce the impact. Casio may enact rotating outages. This is another quote. When demand for electricity is higher than supply, such as during a heat wave, Californians might be asked to use less energy. If enough people conserve electricity at once, rotating outages can be canceled or postponed for an hour or more. So it's our fault when we demand electricity when our demand for electricity is higher than supply. Because the problem here, Mike, and this is the thing, the problem is not a demand issue. The problem is a supply issue, and how the state of California has made it very expensive and very difficult to supply energy to the people of California.
Yeah, bring up that map again, Craig. That was on the top of that story. The with the 3 states there that had power outages, the number of power outages. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, we got California. California at over almost 45,000 from the rolling blackouts, 45,000 because they cannot manage their usage and their output. Florida at just under 19,000. Well, obviously we know that's because of the 2 hurricanes that just hit there as well. And then Ohio, that number there, that's LeBron's baby mamas that's still waiting for this month's child check.
There ain't no power to pay the electric bill.
Ain't got no power to pay the bill. Waiting for LeBron baby mama check.
Yeah, the point is that I know you guys are like, well, why do we care? We're not in California. Because Gavin Newsom is going to run for president. Right now, Kamala Harris is running for president. Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House. These people want to run the state. They want to run the nation. Javier Becerra is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The acting labor secretary who can't even get approved by the Senate is from California. If you want to know how to ruin the nation, please look at who's running California and realize they're sending them all to Washington, D.C.
That's right. That's right.
Just say no. Just say no.
Just say no.
Anyway, that's why I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure y'all understood. I mean, California used to be like the model, right? Now we are a laughing stock. We are the butt of every joke.
Yeah. Absolutely right. California, maybe getting rid of those plastic bags will solve your problems, Craig.
Oh yeah, well we already walked through that one because it's going to it's going to decrease demand of petroleum products because we're no longer using bags made out of petroleum. It's going to thin out the forest because we're going to use all the paper bags. Although then they're going to outlaw paper bags, and all of us are going to have to bring cannabis bags.
Oh yeah, weed bags. There you go.
Weed bags. Well,
and then everybody will just be stuck on the snack aisle.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, folks. Well, hey, that brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. All right, this first one here comes to us from the Babylon Bee. Fake news that you can count on. Now, I really tried to find the comparison video, but so at two different rallies, right? One with J.D. Vance and one with Kamala Harris, you had someone yell out, "Jesus is Lord." And when they yelled out, "Jesus is Lord" at the J.D. Vance one, they said, he said, "You're right, Jesus is Lord." And when they did it at the Kamala Harris rally, she said, "Oh, y'all are at the wrong rally." Ugh.
Yeah, right.
Well, it turns out that wasn't what she was actually responding to. Turns out, you're at the wrong town hall, snaps Kamala Harris, at a citizen trying to ask her a question.
We ain't got no questions here. Move along. Nothing to see.
Yeah, we don't do questions here. Now, this one right here, I saw this one and I loved it. It's a sign that clearly was put up by PETA, and it's got a group of animals, right? It's got a series of animals and says, "All animals want to live. Where do you draw the line?" Right? Mike, what do you notice about this particular sign?
That it's about too far to the right. Move it 2 lines to the left.
2 lines to the left. You want to eat a horse? Oh, you just want that.
You ever eaten horse meat? There you go. I'll eat the horse if I gotta have the rabbit.
You'll eat the horse if you could have the rabbit. Okay.
That's it. Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have had rabbit. Rabbit is good. I've never had horse. Yep. It might be worth it to get some rabbit.
Yeah. If you've been to Europe, you've had horse meat before. You just don't know it. Or New Jersey.
Okay. Now, now, Mike, have you been to the? Have you heard the comments and whatnot that were made that Lizzo made? Well, first of all, that Donald Trump made about Detroit, right? And then you heard Lizzo come out and say you need to be, it's good. He basically insinuated it'd be good to be like Detroit. Well, here's what an analyst had to say about Detroit.
You know what I'm mad about? I'm mad as hell about Detroit because in 1960 that was the richest city in America, the richest, and now it is the poorest. And no other city anywhere in the world has collapsed that quickly.
What about Hiroshima?
Bam.
Bam. Too soon?
Too soon. I was like, okay, he's got a point there.
He does.
Oh, then there's this one. You guys are gonna love it. This is just a fun one. You guys are gonna love this one. But just so you know, Jesus is always watching. All right, it's not playing.
And play.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get this thing going here. Okay, why was it not playing? It should play. Oh, there we go. Let's open that puppy up. There we go. Okay, now let's give this a try. All right, this time we'll see. I'm not even sure if there's sound, so we may have to do the sound for the folks. Let's see here. Okay, now I got no video. All right, never mind. I got nothing. It was fun. Y'all just missed it. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. If I can get it working,
Jesus decided you didn't get to see it.
We'll use it to exactly. Jesus is like, nope. Too many heathens watching this program.
Yep.
Too many heathens watching this program. They're judging you, Mike. They're judging you. They're judging you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So that brings us to the end of the program. Before we go, though, let's give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you got the opportunity to buy AR and pistol bearers direct from the manufacturer, any length, any caliber, for your next AR, rifle, or pistol build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part. California's future today. And if you want the best in tactical gear, field gear, outdoor gear, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. Just follow the link in the description to this program. That's going to be it for today. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun. Stay safe.
Day.
We shall return.